Wealthy Fantasy Football. And basically, you can look over here to your spreadsheets, of course, if you have DFS Army. But I want to mainly show you how, at least for this morning, how to go about getting some players um, to attack certain bullpens and starting pitchers. But just first starting out with, how when you see the analysts on TV and they're looking at like a fantasy football, since we're probably all looking at and getting prepared, for the new fantasy football season, player and team rankings and everything going on. A lot of the players will sit up there, former players, and they'll disagree with one another, and the analysts and the hosts of the show, and they'll say that one particular guy, like for instance, Patrick Mahomes will have a great season and he separates himself from all of the quarterbacks, and he will, dominate that field. But then others will say, well, he's due for regression, and then he's going down as far as where he was last year, not worth a first round pick at all. Who is really to know or say? But what you really have to do is analyze all the data from different angles and research your own research so that you can decide for yourself. Listening to one analyst or another for media purposes is really just to get um, not only on the show but to continue to be on a particular show, especially on television, so that they may disagree with one another and keep the show going and keep the conversation, flowing. That's what they're paid to do, to actually sit up there and have a totally opposite view from a whole other angle, even though both angles may be the truth. So that's why when we're getting into something like this, which is daily fantasy baseball, there are many, many different angles to attack it by. So I want to show you as many different angles as I possibly can, be unbiased, not be a homer with my home team or anything like that, and just give you all the basic data and facts that you can use day by day. So why it's really a great idea to watch these videos here I'm providing, because they're backed up by um, many, many different datas from many different angles. So that's my goal and purpose to try to do. So looking here right now, these are the worst bullpens in the league. So once we get into these pens right here, we're going to look at teams to attack, such as especially the Mets, Baltimore, Miami, Kansas City, Washington, the White Sox, Toronto, Texas, Seattle, LA Angels, Atlanta, and St. Louis, and maybe a little bit further down as well. All right, and then we're looking at these pitchers to attack right here. We did mention Kansas City, Mike Montgomery on the docket, 1.3 innings. That's not going to cut it for whatever reason. He's getting poor, um, being a poor pitcher. So you want to attack him with Cleveland, as he's on the main slate, small slate, but it gives us opportunity to analyze things from many, more different angles as we may have time to do so throughout the day. We could look at things such as, even home road splits if we want to. Here on this site, as it gives us the tools and the spreadsheets in order to do so. We can look at down here, and you see these menu options, trends, BVP, all sorts of different things, top tens, all kinds of results to look at. So that's what you, of course, do when looking at teams to attack and batters to attack with, with, such as Cleveland and then Baltimore as well. Definitely attack them with the Angels. Detroit, probably good attacking both sides of this game, perhaps. Detroit and Seattle, if we want to just look over here to confirm. Let's see. Seattle and Detroit, I don't see on the main teams to attack list here. So interestingly, not Seattle then. So, but then anyways, that gives you 4 teams that you just want to simply stack. Simply stack, like if you're playing on FanDuel, especially where I play, 4 players each. You can stack 4 and 4 and get the best possible pitcher you can. I prefer to take some of the best available options, the ace pitchers, and really prioritize that first also, such as Giolito or Barrios for the day. Unfortunately, those are the best pitchers, but in decent matchups, no, not decent, not so much decent matchups at all, because Bruce is on the road playing the White Sox against Giolito. So this is a tough one. So you could go with Tanaka, but he's playing Boston on the road as well. So definitely tough. Porcello's at home, so it's just an overview of what's going on here today. But so if you focus really on your bats, as for any typical, looking at the outside angle, the shell of it, as I would call it, the top OPSs for, I believe this is 20. Specifically, it's supposed to be for 2017, 18, and this year, 3-year on base percentage, average, including slugging. Important to know. Trout being on top. Judge, interestingly, power wise, way below, but Bogart's up there comparatively, slugging wise, with Aaron Judge even surpassed him. Okay, so you got some interesting numbers, and then in the small sample size, Reyes for Minnesota, um, OPS very well, the on base plus slugging, very good. So these are actual results. But then when you get into more research, you can look excuse me, look at the isolated slugging or more advanced, as well as a little bit more advanced on base percentage, as you can get these either way with the pitcher or hitter. Like over here, the pitchers ISO allowed. You can rank these in order of teams. I'm sorry, of pitchers, as well as WOBA. So you can go about doing that easily. Now, when I go about actually ranking the most important thing, we're not going to do it probably today, but sometime on the weekend, I would expect you can see the video where I'll simply take, for instance, all these guys right here, and I will copy and paste into a new spreadsheet, a totally new creation of a spreadsheet, so that I can see side by side. I'll include these basic things here: the FanDuel salary, specifically there, the opponent, who they're playing against, the overall grade for the day, meaning not the points for the day, obviously, but their graded out, including many various things in these data sheets, and then also things such as the K score, strikeout score for the day. So it helps you determine per the matchup how many strikeouts you can expect. Also going to look at prop bets for each player, all that data, which is not included here, but I can show you where to find it on my own personal customized spreadsheet that I'll put out for the particular day. I'll have to decide whether it's going to be tomorrow or Saturday or some other day. I'll give you a heads up if you watch this daily in the morning or whenever you obviously get to YouTube, um, and how to really analyze and break down the pictures, and at the same time um, look at really even in more detail, specifically some of the bullpens and pitchers you want to attack with your stack. So that's how um, I would go about doing it. My process, which I don't go away from because I'm getting good results. So I will share with you my process when that comes up within the next couple of days. So that's all I wanted to show you for now and for today. I think that was a good chunk of what to do here for not only for today, but for future days moving forward there. So take it easy for the day.